I've been dreading making this video for a long time because I don't really know where to start. I feel like I have so many things I need to say. But even if I don't end up posting this, I think it's really going to be good for me just to get it all out and have it in one place. I feel like every day the thoughts are just circling in my head, driving me crazy. And I want to like start fresh with YouTube. I want to just start posting the kind of videos I want to post, but I feel like there's so much that needs to be talked about to the people that do support me and have been following me and trying to keep up with my life. I don't want to just leave certain things in the dark and ignore them and, you know, act like they didn't happen because they did. And people remember things. You can't just like delete videos and think that it's over, or just not address something and think that it didn't happen. So starting with why I disappeared for so long, I was not in rehab. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not where I was. I was not dead. I got a couple texts asking if I was alive. And it had nothing to do with Ted. I know that was thought. Me and Ted were actually broken up before I even went off social media. We've been apart for like 6 months now. If you're expecting me to bash him on this video, I'm not doing that, so you can leave if that's all you wanted to hear. I think it's like popular to bash people these days because it gets attention and it, you know, you make yourself look like the good guy. It's like, I don't want to do that. I've done things like that in the past. It's just not, it's not necessary. It's not going to fix any problems. It's not going to take back any past. I don't have anything bad to say about him. We're not on any bad terms. We're just not together. I'll kind of explain more about why I needed to be alone as I get into the video. But so during that 4 months, I was really just alone with myself. I had no technology at all, so it wasn't just social media. I was not using my phone at all, was not watching any news, was not keeping up with anything. I was completely in my own world, which was cool in the beginning, but it got bad towards the end. I spent a lot of time completely isolated. Like, I would go outside and do things, but I wasn't really talking to anyone. I was so disconnected from the world, which is like, it's good and bad because I don't really like the world we live in. I don't think most people do. So if you're able to kind of go off into some other world and just pretend that this world's not real, it's fun, but it's very scary when you do have to come back to reality, which I'm doing now, and it's I don't like it. So towards the end of, I want to say, I don't know what month it was, but towards the end of summer, kind of at the time when me and Ted were breaking up, I realized that my mental health was at a very low point. I was not doing well. And luckily, I'm very self-aware. I realized when I'm not doing well, and I don't think anyone knows this, really only very close people in my life know this. I do have schizophrenia, so it gets worse depending on like my situation in life. If I'm calm and relaxed and everything's going smoothly, it's not that bad. Like right now, I'm in a good place, so it doesn't affect me that much. I mean, it's always there, but I can tame it. I can shut it off. When my life gets hectic, though, that's when I have no control over it. And it got really, really bad. And I was self-aware enough to know that it would not be smart for me to be on the phone and, you know, filming myself and doing stuff like, because I wasn't myself. I wasn't making choices that I would make. I'm already about to cry, and I just started. It was like my body was here, but my brain was somewhere else. And it's scary to think back to the person I was at that time, like the things I was doing, it wasn't me. And it's scary. Mental illness is very scary. It can take over you and make you feel like someone else is living inside your body. I have some multiple personality disorder too, which means it kind of goes hand in hand with schizophrenia. To explain it to someone that doesn't understand it, it feels like there are 10 different people living inside one body. And it's very, very hard to deal with. I think I went through so much this past year just in my own life that it really brought it out worse. Schizophrenia a lot of times doesn't get bad until you're about 21 or so, and that's when I started noticing it. It's very, very hard. I got to the point in the summer where I was just doing things like I had never done. I was talking to things that weren't there. I was, I had like imaginary friends that they exist, and I became so comfortable living in that way when I disappeared from social media that I became, sorry, my dog, can you stop, please? Stop. I became so comfortable, like isolated, that I was scared to come back to the regular world. I was scared to come back to social media because I got so used to being alone like that, and being alone with all my own personalities and my thoughts. I developed so much anxiety about like what people were thinking of me, and I've never been one to care about that. And that's how I know that I'm back in my own place right now, because I don't care. I'm not nervous. I'm not worried about what people think of me. Like, I think I needed to fall apart like that to really understand my priorities and understand who I want to be. And I don't want anyone to think that in that time it was like awful and I was just having, a schizophrenic outbreak the entire time I was gone. But I had a lot of good things happen too in that time. I really understood myself, and I really understood what the world is about because I put the phone away for so long. I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think I was going to have some awakening because of that, but it really, really helped me putting the phone down for a while. I advise everyone to do that. You just start appreciating life again. Like, you get rid of that phone addiction where it's like, now I'm using the phone again. I can't even watch a TV show and stay like interested in it. When I put the phone away, I would say after like 2 weeks of not having the phone, I got used to it and comfortable with it. I could sit there and read a kid's book for an hour and be fully entertained. Like, I was very, very happy. So back to the schizophrenia. I am unmedicated, and I don't believe in medication. The reason for that is because the medication does take away a lot of your personality, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose who I am. I don't want to lose all the people inside me. So I think now is just trying to figure out how I can make it work. And I think the biggest thing I've been trying to do is make all the personalities work together. And, I think, how powerful could I be if I have all these different people inside me? It's like I have this one big army inside my head. Instead of having all these different, people I'm talking to and demons I'm talking to and things like that, like, talk to God and talk to people you look up to. I started assigning the the people I was talking to people that I look up to and people that I want to be like. People that have lived lives that I want to live, and people that I want to become one day. I want to do the things they're doing. I got back into things that I used to love. Like, I think I forgot some of the things I'm passionate about because of wrestling. I got so into wrestling, but wrestling wasn't like the first thing I loved. It was just something I picked up, and I put everything I had into it, but I lost myself in the process. I am very passionate about music, rap music specifically. And I think it was just something I just let go, and I don't understand why. I loved it so much. Like, when I was a kid, I would come home from school every day and just rap Nicki Minaj songs every single day. I loved this so much. And I was probably 13 or so, and I remember thinking I didn't care what anyone thought of me at this time. I didn't care if I was talented. I didn't care that I was overweight. I didn't care that I was unattractive. I didn't care because I was happy doing something. But I was always embarrassed to, tell anyone this, even though it was my real passion. I loved doing this, and I was good at it, too. Like, I guess I thought no one would take me seriously as a little chubby white girl trying to rap. But I love rap music, and there are rappers that have gotten me through a lot of things in life. And the rap music kind of takes me to that place, you know, my brain is moving 100 miles an hour all the time, especially when I'm having some kind of an outbreak. And the music kind of brings me up there, and I feel normal. I feel like I belong up there because it's fast and I'm going. And it's like when I come back down to the regular world, it feels so slow and so, you know, just not my pace. So the music really, really saved me, especially during this time. I listened to a lot of music. I did a lot of singing, a lot of rapping. And I realized like I'm very passionate about that, and I don't know why I hide that. So if that is something you guys would want to see, I didn't want to just like come on here and everybody like music. Or if that is something you'd like to see, let me know and I will consider doing something. Please be nice. It's just for fun. I think sometimes we don't do the things that we love because we're afraid that we're not going to be the best at them. Or, you know, we think it's some kind of competition. It's not. Do what you love if it makes you happy. It doesn't matter what people think. You know, I'd rather end my life knowing that I tried everything that I love and I gave it my best shot than to know that I just ignored it and, you know, kept it to myself. It was like wrestling. Like, everyone laughed at me when I said I was going to be a wrestler. They didn't think I was serious. They didn't think I would stick to it. They thought it was a phase, but I made it happen. And now I wrestle for a television company. Speaking of, I'm still with Ring of Honor, yes. And I will be making my comeback very soon, so keep your eyes open for that. So to anyone that is dealing with mental illness, you're not alone. And even if you're not dealing with like severe mental illness, just anyone that's going through anxiety and depression right now, like, you're not alone. We're all going through this. And I think I will say that having social media again has made me feel a lot better because it showed me that I'm not alone. Like, there are a lot of people that are depressed right now. There are a lot of people that are anxious. There are a lot of people that are not doing well. I think the wrestlers are feeling the same way, but we just keep it to ourselves because we want to keep up this like tough facade. But I have no problem crying on camera. I don't think it makes me any less tough. I think it makes people tougher if they can open up and be honest. I think it's very hard for the wrestlers, especially because we're so used to being the center of attention and, you know, being stars. And even to those that are still doing shows right now, like, they're not doing it in front of the normal crowd. They're doing it in front of, it's just different. They're not getting that adrenaline and that almost like ego fix that we need so much. And it's hard. I feel like I felt worthless and unimportant. And especially for me, like, I'm not a very social person. I like performing. I like being an entertainer. I like going in front of crowds, but I don't like hanging out with people. I don't like going to parties. I don't like doing things like that. I'm just not interested. I've never really been interested. That's a big thing I had to accept, is that I am not. I am an introverted person. I do not like being social. I used to fight this. Like, I used to try to go out and do things knowing I hated it, like knowing it's not for me. And every time I would do it, I would get there and be like, I don't even want to be here. But I think I've always lived alone, so I think I would get this cabin fever when I would be by myself for too long. And I was still trying to fit this like social norm, which I do not care about anymore, of like, I'm supposed to go out, I'm supposed to drink, I'm supposed to do this and that. It's like, I'm just not really interested. Like, it's okay to spend all your time alone. It's okay to like live like a grandma at 23. All I do now, my whole days just revolve around going to the gym, eating, and singing. That's it. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to live your life in this way that everyone else does. I wish it hadn't taken me this long to realize that. As crazy of a year as this has been for me, I think that everything happens for a reason, and sometimes you can't understand that reason in that moment. You know, I kept asking myself, like, why does it feel like my life is falling apart? But sometimes your life has to fall apart so it can fall back together in some new way. And I see that now because I finally, for the first time in a very long time, I feel like myself. I feel like I'm the person I was supposed to become. It's like I took a detour. I became all these other people that weren't authentic and they weren't me. And I don't know why I did that. I think I was just trying to find myself. You know, I got into wrestling when I was 17, so I didn't know who I was at all. and I come right into this like entertainment industry where you have to be different and you have to be interesting and you have to be hot, and it was a lot. I never really got the chance to kind of grow up on my own, but I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be now, and I feel good. I feel a lot better now that I've kind of addressed all of this and put it in the past. Something I want to say to anyone that does have mental illness: it is perfectly okay to talk to yourself. I was like trying so hard to fight this, especially when the schizophrenia got bad. Like, stop talking to yourself. You're not supposed to do that. There is nothing wrong with this. And when you tell someone that has mental illness to stop talking to themselves, it makes it worse. They can't stop. Like, mine's not, I can control mine. Like, I can, when I'm in public and stuff, I can turn it off. I'm not like completely just out of control, like talking to myself anywhere I go. But when I'm alone, I like to do this, and it's comforting to me to do this. Do I think it's good to talk to imaginary friends in the wall? No, don't do that. That is not healthy. But to talk to yourself is perfectly okay. I've tried to switch my thoughts, like I said, into, not talking to imaginary things that aren't there, but talking to myself and organizing my life and talking about my past and talking about what I'm doing that day and what I'm eating and what I'm training. And really, it's like, so now I think about it like I'm just doing my own podcast all day long to myself. And it's fun because you can say whatever you want and no one's judging you. Like, and you become closer with yourself. You become okay alone. And that's something I never thought I would be able to say, is that I'm perfectly okay alone. I don't need the company of anyone else. I have myself. And, if you think about it, like, it's two people. You're conversating with yourself. It's your brain on the inside talking to your outer being, which are kind of two different people. There's nothing wrong with this. And even to people that don't have mental illness, I think it's a good thing to do. It's like, because what are your other options? You either go talk to someone else that might, repeat your business, or they might not understand, or you're going to go on social media and run your mouth and ramble about a bunch of things that you shouldn't, which is what I wanted to avoid. It might seem like I'm doing that right now, but I've kind of planned out what I want to say and what I would like to talk about. Something else you can do that I started doing that really helped me a lot is have a list of the people you look up to the most. Have a list of people that inspire you, and think of the things that you would want to tell them one day. When you're thinking of something, instead of saying it to just yourself sometimes, write it down and say, this is something that I want to tell that person one day because that person inspired me. That person is living the life that I want to live. I have a whole list of people that I have looked up to and that have kept me going during this time. Eminem is number one. I have a whole list on my phone. It says to Eminem. It says to Slim Shady. It's a list of things that I want to tell him one day because he's gotten me through so much. So much more than people that are actually in my life, like, because his music inspires me and it takes me to other places. Nicki Minaj, some wrestlers, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, they've done the things I want to do. Mike Tyson as well. They've become the people that I want to be. I look up to those people. It brings me to tears just to even say those names, because those people motivate me a lot, and they keep me going to see someone that has accomplished those things and to see that it is possible. It's gotten me through a lot, and I don't know why I hide that. It's like people think because they're an entertainer or they're trying to be something that they can't look up to someone, they can't have role models, but you can. It's okay. And it's inspired me so much to have those lists and have things I want to tell them one day. And it's very helpful. I have a very long list of people that have inspired me during this time. Maybe one day I'll read the whole list, but I think during that time, as awful as it was, I did have kind of some kind of awakening where I realized, like, who I really can be in the future if I set my mind to something. I used to think the ceiling was this high. Now the ceiling is so big I can't even see it. I think people with the brain I have, we have very big dreams and very big aspirations, and it's scary sometimes. Like, if I were to tell people my real dreams and hopes for myself, they would think I'm absolutely nuts and delusional. And it's like, maybe I am, but I also believe that there's a chance I could do those things and become the person I want to be. It's possible. And I'd rather try my whole life to get there than to just give it up and think, oh, I'll live some normal life and just accept reality. I don't want to accept reality. I want to shoot for the stars, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's very scary having dreams so big, because I hold myself accountable to them, and I want them to become true so badly that I'll do anything to make them real. It's scary. Sometimes I do wish I had been programmed with just a normal brain, and I wanted like a normal life. I just wanted marriage and a house and kids and things. That's not what I want. I want to be a star. I've always wanted to be a star. A real star too, not like this, my generation star, which is like social media star. I want to be a real star that's in magazines and at red carpet events, and having paparazzi follow them around. Like, that's what I always wanted. It's overwhelming now because I realize that my dreams are bigger than just wrestling. Thank you to the people that are still here. Thank you to the people that did not turn their backs on me during that time. I did not talk to anyone at that time. My best friend Jamie, he's very understanding. He understands mental illness, and he understands that sometimes you just need to disappear for a little while. Hopefully that won't happen again where I need to disappear like that, but if it does, I'm sorry, and I think you understand now why I might have to do that. But the good news is, like I said, I'm very self-aware. I know that I have this, and I know when it's bad. A lot of people don't even realize it. They're not aware of the fact that they even have a mental illness in the first place, and they're also not aware that they're not aware when they're in a delusional state. Like, I'm fully aware of this when it's happening. But I think if you can turn your delusions into dreams and actually work for those dreams, they really could come true. I think we were all given the brains we have for a reason. And sometimes I think, why was I cursed like this? Why was I given such a crazy brain like this? But I think now that God gave me this brain because I can make something great out of it. I can let it kill me. I can let it ruin my life. Or I can make something amazing out of it. Because there is so much inside of me. And there are so many different people and so many different personalities. And I could change the world with that if I really set my mind to it. And turn these dreams into reality by consistency and hard work. Yeah, I think that's all I have for now, to keep crying if I keep filming. I think sometimes my social media doesn't mean anything because I don't have that many subscribers. I don't have that many followers. Like, everyone else is getting millions of views and things. Like, mine doesn't mean anything, but you have to start somewhere. And I think the fans you have in the beginning, those are the true fans, and those are the loyal fans, and those are the ones that mean the most. So even if I'm only talking to 5,000 people, these are the 5,000 people that mean the most to me, because you guys have been here from the beginning, and I appreciate that more than you could ever know.